Titillate the juices.
You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock-ass mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick-ass mock.
Acknowledge me.
We coming for you, nigga. Fat!
Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
You
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
Yes, yeah. Wow, excitement right at the top of the show, starting off hot in the LA night shirt.
What do we want to talk about?
That's right, Jeffrey Cross. What do we want to talk about today? You know, leading up this week, very slow news week, especially pro wrestling. Of course, I've been threatening for months now, almost since I've come back. I'm like, do we really need to be talking about so much wrestling? It looks like we do. Sounds like we do, right? So we're going to continue to do that. And I'm not like quitting the WWE or anything. You know, things in with words out here. People read texts and they think all kinds of things. It could totally be the opposite of what you're trying to say. I get it. You know, it's fake news all around us. All I know, and we can just jump right into this because we're gonna be shitting on the WWE. See that nice bright light back there? Yep. I'm gonna be pooping all over it. And I've been watching WWE my whole life, you know, WWF. I was watching back when they had the F in it, before the nature people stole it from them. Not the flares, not those nature people. Other nature peoples. Paladin, let's talk about TikTok being the shits. You know that's going to happen at some point.
It's the shits.
Yep. Suspended again. We're on Kick right now. Shout out to all the Kick people. Shout out to all the murderers on Kick.
Yeet.
Right? We can also talk about that. Again, I got plenty of stories. There's so many weird, crazy things going on. We're living in Black Mirror. We're living in the end times, as they say. They're saying a lot of things, and I picked up on that. People really believe in we're going through end times business. They're talking about time speeding up and aliens and everything except Jeffrey Epstein, right? So I find that a little suspicious. All at the same time, you know. Anyway, we can talk about all the conspiracy stuff too. First, I played a new jam to kick us off today. That's the very newest song. I stripped all my music off of Spotify. We're not doing streaming. We're not doing Spotify. We're not doing any of this anymore. We're doing physical media. We're going back in time like Marty McFly. And we're back to the future over here. You know, I don't mind physical copies. I lived back in the olden times, kids. Back when there was no computers. Like, you would see computers and you knew they existed, but you really didn't get your hands on any. I happened to. I had people in my family that were a little nerdy and had computers when I was like a little kid. So every once in a while, I get to play like games and stuff on it. I know the Commodore, of course. I know these kids, they don't know nothing about any of this. But that was like considered high tech, right? What first part of my life. Second part of my life, these smartphones, all this stuff, ruining everything. Ruined my music, ruined art world, it's ruining wrestling at the moment. I mean, come on. So go check this album out someday. Again, I'm going to be making my own store, free from TikTok, free from all these different platforms. I'm not joining any of these partnerships with a lot of these platforms. If I end up doing it and it works out, good, great. They're going to take an enormous cut because that's how this thing works, right? So if you're making music, I know it's totally futile to try to even make anything these days. You got AI out here. making all types of tunes. They're like, what was it? Timbaland has now 1,000 artists he just signed in the matter of minutes. And they're all just pumping up albums, all these bots. It's the shits.
It's the shits.
Go check this album out, though. I'm going to put it out, physical copies again. First on CD, then tape, and then record. I'm not going to make a whole lot of copies, so it will be very collectible for those that do collect. Because you never know. What if I hit the jackpot and I become the new Pat McAfee? My head gets to be 80 pounds. And then I'm on ESPN and all these Wrestlepalosers. With the rest of these Wrestlepalosers, get liking and subscribing. Get retweeting, all that stuff. Here, I didn't even show this last episode. Went 2.5 hours or so. Didn't even plug one thing. See, I'm about this. I'm about entertaining you folks. But if you want to help a brother out, you want to keep me around, have an actual person out here. Not an AI host. No. They're not this smart. Not yet. They'll never be this clever. Okay? So, Linktree, everything's there. Just go there. Triple H is telling you. He knows how to make the money. Right, Trips? Where are you? There he is, my boy Trips. Killing it, right? The WWE is on fire. It is. They're still killing it. Prices out of control for live events. They're talking about going to 2 PLEs. We want 2 PLEs for like every pay-per-view. And that way they can make like, they want to turn millions and millions of people into like Trekkies. Watch. They're going to do the Chris Jericho thing too. They're going to get a piece of that Jericho. There's rumors he's coming back and they're going to get in the Cruise game. They're going to get into everything. There's going to be tons of WWE slot machines all over the Las Vegas in the country now. They're starting to, casinos are popping up everywhere, which, hey, I don't mind. But if you like throwing your money away, go ahead, have at it, right? Kevin Hart and Jamie Foxx and all these Diddy Party guys are like, come, spend your money online. Don't even go to the casinos, right? Everybody stay indoors. Nobody do anything normally like we did 5+ years ago. Yep, so except to go on festival trips. Whole weekend somewhere for wrestling, to sit there and watch wrestling for days. And this is coming from a wrestling fan. But again, I'm old enough, I'm smart enough to realize that this whole future that's happening, wrestling included, of course, it's what?
It's the shits.
Facts. It's not even an opinion at this point. Think we've seen enough. What's up, Philly Sports Pride? What about that news that broke yesterday about Hogan's death? We're going to talk about that too. Look, I got him right here. And I'm going to hold this. Every time I talk about Hulk Hogan now, I'm going to hold this in my hands. Just like this, right next to my head. So everybody knows I'm serious about my Hulk Hogan. This was mine from... They printed it somewhere. They printed it on his backside here. 1984? 83? I need better glasses. Yeah. So yeah, we know what's going on with that. Medical malpractice, huh? Which everybody's making into a conspiracy. But again, as the top conspiracy guy, let's just call it what it is, in the whole wrestling game, I don't really see it much of a conspiracy. I see it as a cover-up, which I guess you can say it at that point. Okay. You done messed my camera up, Hulk. See, I'm trying to get it back out of the fuzz. It's not working. Maybe if I go away, I come close. Looks like I'm trying to work her shit out.
It's the shits.
Yep, it's definitely, everything's the shits now. Philly Sports Pride. Go follow him on the YouTubes as well. WWE Slot Mania Online. Yep. That's the thing. You can't even like go anywhere to give up all your money and be impressed with the architecture and, how they're spending all that money on golden staircases and stuff. So this is crazy. This is the worst camera in the world. Right? It's the worst in the world. It still won't go into focus now. Let's make us big again. Let's just put Triple H on the screen. Just look at him for a minute until I can figure this out over here. I look great when it's really small. This is the best show in the world. Best in the world. Fuzziest in the world. Man, he looks great up close. But you really won't focus over here? There we go. We did it. We're back. Yeah, Wrestlepalooza, I'm not buying it. How about that? I'm going to start off right there. Get liking and subscribing. I'm not buying Wrestlepalooza. I'm not buying this ESPN streaming app. Who do you think I am? A mark or something? And that's the thing. I kind of am, right? I'm into this. I'm a mark for the WWE. I make sure I don't know things behind the scenes and whatnot so I can be more entertained when I'm watching it. That's becoming impossible. Everybody knows everything now. So, yep. Is it really? Do we really need to watch all this wrestling? Ask yourselves that. We have now wrestling every day. If you crunch the numbers, if you take all the shows into consideration, the days that they're on, sure, there may be a day or here and there that there's technically none, but no, when you're given 3 shows on certain days and 2 PLEs over here and 1 over here every weekend, there's pretty much more. There's too much to watch. You can't watch all this. And if you do, you probably aren't wearing deodorant either. You ain't getting bitches. What else, Stone Cold? What else is not happening for them?
What?
All kinds of stuff is not happening for you. But definitely those 2 things. Not washing your asses.
What?
That's 3. And then they want more from us. And I get it. I'm starting to see this corporate swing from things I like, Tekken, this weird niche video game that's been around for 30 years. It's just been around forever. But this last Tekken 8, they're making it so they want more normies and they want more money. And they're doing season passes and all these players that should be free in the game, you have to pay for, right? The reason why this reminds me of WWE, it's like the TKO thing. They want new kids, they want new parents, they want new customers. And they're getting these noobs in. The noobs don't know about how it was. And now they're just getting hosed. And they're like, oh, yeah, $40,000 for front row tickets, $500 for out in left field or whatever. Okay. But what they're doing is what's good for them. And you can't say, oh, don't do it or whatever. But again, it's this corporate, the way that they think about it, it's not about making the best product for you. If anything, the product suffers because of them going out and looking for a broader audience to push this stuff to. It's just, everything's going to get worse. And they're telling you this pretty much in the storylines. Have you seen John Cena out here lately? He's the last real champion. They're telling you something. He kind of is. After John Cena, what do you have? Cody Rhodes. He's the last real champ. He would be real.
Go fuck yourself.
I'm sure some of you are loving it. I don't buy it. He's Dusty's kid. And, this nepotism thing with corporate business and all the rest, and people seem to have bought it. Mid in the ring. I've seen some of his, the little comedy skits he would make with Matt Jackson and the boys just recently. I haven't seen him in years. And I'm thinking, I'm like stone faced watching this thing. So the lack of charisma, the lack of, all this stuff. Not saying he's terrible or anything. It's just to be the next John Cena. And then how about this guy, Logan Paul?
It's the shits.
Like last night? Okay, I'm buying it at this point. Sure, he's been around 4 years. He's good on the mic. He's doing it. He's saying all the words. Seemed to have gotten over on Cena, but you knew that wasn't going to last. But pretty much everything Logan Paul said was true. Everything John Cena said was true. And what hit with John Cena the most in that promo battle last night, which was pretty much the only thing you really needed to see in SmackDown last night, was everybody knows he's there to feed off the business, where John Cena was trying to give himself to the business. Whether you don't believe that or not, maybe there is, I think, truth to that, especially on the Logan Paul end, where it's like, yeah, remember he was like all in the flat earth for a minute too, because he tried to get in, grift this weird little niche fan base, if you want to call it that, get out, goof on him. And I know he's been here, 4 years? He probably likes it. And why shouldn't he? He's, as Cena pointed out, he wrestled 23 times? And they're all premium live events? He's not wrestling jobbers and, out in the middle of nowhere that's with no cameras around or anything. So, of course, Cena won. That's how it was written, first of all. Got it. Get it. But, the future of wrestling is now Logan Paul. And that's the future of like everything, because you can't make music. You can't make art and artistic pictures or be a director. You have to know people. You have to know people, and you have to have a major fan base, generally of little kids, which they cut off from people like me and everybody else out here, right? Which is like, I'm not making content for kids anyway. Like, I'm not worried about that. Pretty much, if you're 18 plus, I think you're good with this. It's just, are we not seeing this? Like, in every facet of the game, somebody has some kind of connection to something in the music business, in show business in general, or there's always been that glass ceiling, but now it's just to the point where it's gone onto the internet like everything else has. So they're putting clamps on us all over the place. I can't go live on TikTok again. Why? All right, get off my screen, Triple H. We're done with you for now. And of course, I don't know if you understand the goof. I know Triple H doesn't run everything. He's running the creative and hitting some things, not hitting many other things. So let's see what you guys got to say before I get into more complaining and grinding of gears and things. Paladin says the 2020s as whole so far has been the worst. Everything sucks now. Yep. There's no style anymore. There's no authenticity out here. Nobody is genuine. And I was thinking about this the other day too, because I'm trying to pitch myself. I'm like, hey guys, the show exists, everybody. And nobody seems to want to get involved like they did in the old days, where I guess people valued maybe this type of a podcast more. I know there's a million people doing podcasts, but yeah, there's no style. There's no, what is the 2020s? Just the shits, right, Danny? What's going on, Danny?
Good evening. Yeah, that's correct. I didn't hear any of that before, but yeah, it's the shits. It is the shits.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm talking about how present day stuff is in the 2020s. What is it? It's kind of just nonsense. But yes, if you don't know, this is Danny Damage, which you must know by now.
Good evening. Yeah, a lot of things are fickle now, just whether it's wrestling or comics and film, video games. It's just they know they're going to forget about it, or they want you to forget about it very quickly after the thing's been done and released, because then they've got the new thing to sell you for you to consume. And as cynical as that sounds, that's just how a lot of people are operating. And sadly, there's enough people to just swallow it all and just normalize it and make the rest of us sit there and be like, where's my shit gone? I was enjoying that, and now it's just whatever this is.
Yeah, and we got here because I was talking about Logan Paul, and I'm not even like hating Logan Paul. I'm just noticing a trend that's going on where everybody's all these corporations are trying to expand their player base, if you want to, like get more customers from everybody. So they're doing non-traditional things and making everything worse, technically, to try to get more money for themselves and get more people involved. But in the meantime, like they're completely losing me. I'm going backwards with all this. So there's got to be other people doing it. Yeah, exactly. We need. Would Roddy Piper even be able to do his thing? He'd probably be on AEW, I guess, right? In this day and age.
God knows. I think they'd find a place for him in WWE modern day, but it's just whether or not people would sort of like gravitate towards that now because they've been conditioned to do this. But you can't see me, sorry.
The eating, yes. Rules.
And
yeah.
Because there's just Uso's music, there's Seth's music where they get to sing along, there's Cody's music where they get to sing along. That's what a lot of people there would want to do.
Go fuck yourself!
Oh, Cody Rhodes. And then you guys over in England ruined everything with these chants. Those singing song chants, the worst things in the world. The Roman Reigns, how's it go? They sing the name over and over, but in a fashion that is highly obnoxious.
It's just because it's the football, it's the soccer sort of chants, and that's all. They've adapted the soccer chants. Mm-hmm. The Bailey ones were good because it showed appreciation for someone that maybe WWE wasn't pushing or focusing on as they should. But then, once they started doing all the international shows, everyone started to compete, especially once WWE started to ham it up and be like, oh, look at this mad, ravenous crowd from wherever. We'd historically do it every time we come over here, but once they started doing the European shows, it became more of a thing.
We're doing it over here. Sucks.
Yeah.
Stop it, Americans. You're embarrassing Dr. Huge.
Not every night is the Raw after WrestleMania. Sorry, but that's what people are acting like.
I refuse to do that chant. Philly sports pride. I refuse. Would never do that. I only do this.
Yeet! Yeet!
Oh my God! If I was there this past Monday, though, Danny, I wished I was that guy standing next to Jey Uso, getting all that publicity for nothing. He doesn't have an awesome podcast or anything. He was just some guy there, but he wasn't even yeeting on time. None of the kids, again, you kids go home and keep practicing. You don't have it yet. You're yeeting all out of sync. Yeet. It goes like this. Yeet. Okay, so you're down here by the end of it. There's a beat to the song, right? Just follow rock beats. Boom, tap, boom. Just follow that little rock beat in your head, and you'll be all set. Because I seen black kids and Mexican kids or whatever. These brown people, they're all out of sync too. No. We got to fix that. What's going on with this generation? Danny?
Too busy posing with the belts on camera to keep up with the music. To be like, hey, look, here I am. I'm on TV. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, another thing with these kids. You guys have been out of control lately. And the big kids, by the way, these adults that act like children. Every time they get near a wrestler, like Jey Uso's walking through the crowd, doing his gimmick, talking to Seth and them in the ring, and they're going at it back and forth. And this kid's like getting in his face, waving his hand in his face, like trying to get his attention. And then another kid the other night, I forget who he did it to, like trying to stop a wrestler in the crowd, like, hey, in the middle of all of it, you want to go up here, go up like a few more floors and we'll go take a picture or something. And it's like, get these kids out of here. And like back in our day, I don't remember there being kids that were, putting their hands in their face. Yes. But, always looking for photo ops and autographs in the middle of a show.
No, they'd run for cover. Yeah.
So everybody needs to settle down. Where are the parents? That's another thing, that the reason why everything sucks now. There's like no more parental people watching their kids is what I'm trying to say. They just go here, go phone your brain to death.
Because they act like they're friends rather than parents and guardians. I know I've not been a parent for that long, but it's just something I've observed for a while. But yeah, if you're trying to like appeal to your kids in a way of sort of like wanting your kids to think you're cool when they're young, and you're meant to be their guardian and protect them, it's not going to end as well. You'd be the friend when they're older, but when you need to look after them and set a good example, you acting more childish than them potentially isn't going to necessarily keep them safe or whatever. But or just keep them, not even just the safety thing, but just keep them well behaved, and then they just act like bell ends and just put the fans in wrestlers' faces.
What's a bell end?
Dick, the end of your dick.
Oh, okay, that is.
Yeah, your bell end is the end of your dick.
Oh, bell end.
Yeah. So it's just like someone being a dick.
Wow.
But yeah, like years ago, if there was like two wrestlers on camera or someone, one of the wrestlers like facing the camera, you'd maybe get a kid just quickly sneaking in and being like, wait, and then running away, but not just like standing right in front of them and being like, hey, stop doing what you're doing and pay attention to me. Because you'd be scared of getting a smack in the face.
I remember there's one kid getting in Shawn Michaels' face back in the day and he had his Bret Hart action figure and it was like sticking it right in his face. And this is back in the rock and roll days where Michaels is like in the crowd, like kissing chicks and stuff. And this one little kid is like sticking this thing and he grabs it from him and he opens his pants and drops it inside and closes it and backs off and didn't give the kid his toy back. He's just like, basically, oh, you want to get involved? I stole your toy and put him in my pants. Yes.
Should just launched it into the distance and just seen it go bing. Just
now
disappear.
that would be a heel maneuver. I do like the sign stealing though. They've been keeping that up these days. Xavier Woods did it to a girl this week. I wonder how. I don't buy anything anymore. You know what I mean? Like so. It was probably a plant in the crowd. We know there are plants all over these wrestling crowds. You know. They can't find a seat for Bret Hart, but they can find one for anybody else. Right?
The girl maybe put a phone number on the sign, so then when he grabbed it and ripped it, he was like, "Oh, there's a phone number there." Be a good little way of, I'll write some obscenity, just like "fuck you." It's small, so they rip it, and then it's like, "Oh, you little bastard! I didn't notice that."
I know you love this, Danny. Let's do it a few more times. That's right. What's going on? Chris in the house. Up, Dr. Huge and everybody. Everybody's chilling. Everybody's maxing and relaxing. Man, so many stories. You want to do wrestling stories first, or would you like to do random? How about a mixture of both?
Cool. Yeah. We'll go for
How
that.
about the Hogan story of this week? Put them up on the screen. I got you here. Let's make it a little, let's do it like that. So Hulk Hogan, Brooke Hogan, Bubba the Love Sponge. They were all kind of right, especially Bubba the Love Sponge and Brooke Hogan, because we found out that there may have been medical malpractice. Now, I don't want to say that this is a conspiracy theory. Many people are running with this, and I'm very conspiratorial over here. But this is just a typical cover-up. That's how I see it. So if there was something wrong, somebody did something they weren't supposed to do to Hogan, and they wanted to just brush it under the rug and go, yep, he just died. Whoops. And that seems to happen a lot in this country. Damn near like 40% or something of most deaths are a medical botch. And so that's the story I'm hearing, Danny. What are you hearing over there?
I heard something similar. That there was some kind of potential shenanigans, and that Bubba the Love Sponge had been right this whole time. And he seems to have teamed up with Brooke. Did you see the where Brooke went onto his podcast and found out I
listened to that. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. So they've been bonding over things, and I was a bit surprised to hear them teaming up. But if the doctors are fucked up, the doctors are fucked up. It's not like it never happens. Whether or not there's a mass multi-person conspiracy or not, I don't know. But accidents happen, so I can definitely see it being a possibility. And his age as well. It's just accidents happen when people are 71 or 72, whatever it was.
Right. And also, he was going crazy. He was on a private jet like every other day, going his new restaurant and the beer stuff, because they're like, of course, they're going to sell so much more beer if Hulk Hogan is actually there. So that's why he's going all over the country with this beer and shit. And then he had the new venture with Eric Bischoff and that other guy, and they're doing deals. And you know, you got all these investors and stuff involved in your Hulk Hogan brand, even though you're in your 70s. And they're like, nah, motherfucker, get up out of your gurney, and you're going to push this and that and the other thing. So it's not like I'm like feeling bad for him. He kind of put himself in this position. But it sounds like Brooke Hogan is just like, that's why she wants nothing to do with it. He, again, is in that business, show business, where it's total just shit. You know, you're dealing with the worst people in the world. They don't care about you. They're coming along for the ride. You know what I mean? They just want to ride your coattails and get licensing and sell T-shirts and sell your little tchotchkes over here of your Hogan things forever. And yeah, Brooke Hogan is looking like the smartest, greatest person in the world to be a part of a family that, you know, has had a lot of public turmoil and salacious things going on. And she looks great. So I hope she gets the answers she deserves. It sounds like she already knows. So, yep, good on her. And Bubba the Love Sponge too, like, because I've thought he was a dirtbag for years, and I kind of still stand by that. But he was right all along with this. It was like a solid like month he was reporting, pretty much once a week. This is happening with Hogan. That's happening. Of course, when he said he was dead, that was wrong. I guess, you know, you never know, but. You know, I guess he was like in a medically induced coma and stuff. Well, I don't know. Let me actually look at my notes. Told you, I'm holding this every time I talk about Hulk Hogan now. Gives me the power of the Hulkamaniacs when I do it. So, yep. Medical malpractice. It's also odd that I guess it's not that odd that DeSantis very soon gave Hulk Hogan his own day in Florida, August 1st.
Yeah, I think that's just, I don't think there's too much to look into that. It was just, it happened, and it's like, nothing else happens on August 1st, I'm guessing, and we like to try and put sort of like, because of all like the left-leaning sort of like days that have been introduced in the last decade or whatnot, then it's maybe his way of being like, this will sort of like sting a couple of people, and, you know, it pays homage to a great Floridian that's paid taxes for however long, and bit of publicity.
And then he lived in Clearwater, which I don't know if you know, but is like the home of Scientology, which is a whole nother little conspiracy I see a lot of people going with. Again, I'm the type, I don't rule anything out because I've been wrong plenty of times, you know, and I don't know, maybe was he involved with Scientology? I don't know. I'll have to look into it, but I doubt it. And Hulk stopped talking to Brooke because of the new wife. I know a lot of people know this, I guess. That was her friend. That's what Jeffrey Cross told me out here. So but then again, maybe this wife was one of the, I'm just gonna, you know, speculate, like a gold digger, and maybe had a crew around her of people that were like the handlers. When I'm thinking about this now, with the malpractice and the Hogan going everywhere while he's getting surgeries every other day, it reminds me of Stan Lee, you know, and how Stan Lee in his older age was like basically, you know, the crypt keeper, and they're just sticking pens in his hands and like, you just keep signing, keep smiling for the pictures, and no breaks. We got to make all this money while you're here, you know. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Disgusting. This world is gross. Yep.
But yeah, no, I hear everything you say, but it's just with his age, every time you go under the knife at that age, there's a big risk. So what could just be like I say, accidents happen, could also be perceived as medical malpractice. I'm obviously not a legal specialist. I don't know either way, but just this shit happens, sadly.
Poor Hulk Hogan. Well, somebody's going to get to the bottom of it. And Brooke should be getting I mean, that is his daughter. You would think she would get something, but she's not
No.
In the
She's
will
out
at
of the
all.
will, is she? Yeah, she's out of it.
Wow. Unbelievable. Get liking and retweeting, subscribe and all that stuff, especially on YouTube. If you haven't come over to YouTube yet, hurry up. Great over here. Clips, promo edits. Just dropped another one the other night. Paul Heyman proclaiming he is God now. Have you seen that one yet, Dan? You got to check it out.
I will do.
It's I call it like, it's like a TikTok epic, because you know all these people have TikTok brains out here, and they're like, oh, I can only watch a video for like 9.2 seconds, and I made a 4-minute epic. So many yeets. Where are my yeets?
Yeet!
So many yeets. I know you'll like that. He wouldn't let anybody talk in the ring, this Jey Uso. As usual, he just kept
Yeet! Yeet! Yeet!
Yep.
Yeet!
Can I go now?
Yeet!
Not yet. See, that's what he does. Tries to ruin everything with the yeeting, and the kids follow suit. Yeeting behind him like a second late.
Yeet!
So, yep. But, oh, did you hear? TikTok kicked this off again. Suspended again. 4th time. That's got to be a record, right? And since April, and I knew it, I called it last week. There's something going on. And then they let me come back, and then they kicked me off like immediately again, which is fine. I'm just never using it again. I already uninstalled it. I got rid of all that TikTok stuff. I may post an image here and there. I was doing pretty good. I was starting to get a little thing going. I had one post last month that was like over 10,000 views. That was nice. Yeah. So I'm still getting to this day notifications about it. But hey, they don't want me on their platform. It's pretty obvious.
Do they point at anything specifically? Like, oh, you've talked about
They don't even tell me anymore.
Right.
They must hit a button over there that just suspends me. But we know who runs the TikTok censorship over there. I did a little looking, just a little bit of digging. Just happens to be from a part of the world that we can never talk about. There's a part of their army that's doing very bad things right now. So maybe it has something to do with that. Maybe it's because I look like the people they're doing very bad things to. I don't know. I'm just left to, again, go, I find that odd that all these other people are allowed to do almost whatever on there, and I can't even do my show or post any of my content without swears, no cussing, totally PG in many cases. And they're like, nope, I did a video yesterday, I posted it up, one of the promo edits, 5 views, and it sits right next to a picture that has, like, again, 10.5 K views. So it's like anything I put out with the Dr. Huge brand and trying to push this show or anything, they're like, no, get out of here with that. And the people are wondering probably, what are we looking at? That's Metal Gear Solid 2. Again, one of my favorite games ever. But yep, we're just being silly. What we propose to do is not control content, but to create context. That's what they're doing. I'm misinformation. I'm just lying about everything. And all the other real liars on there, they're fine. They're good to even make money with them. And you know what? I don't even... At the beginning, I was going to give it a shot, right, with this whole TikTok thing and everything. But why would I even try to make money on that platform? And I've been finding out lately, Meta's been doing this a lot lately, where they let you build a brand, they let you start selling on the shops on there, and then they take your account down. And they go, oh, you've been flagged. And who knows, you may be flagged by competitors, right? They're like, this person's selling the same stuff I'm selling. I want them out of here. And there's no like recourse. Can't even contact anybody. People are paying other people to do things, and it's really these other people you're paying to do things. You know, everybody's in your comments every time you're like, I'm having a problem with TikTok or this or that, and they're like, I can do it. Just send me money and I'll get you right back on there. It's not a guarantee. Then they're going to do the same shit you do if you just figure it out by looking at a couple tutorials or something. But in short, you know, why would I try to make money on these platforms when they could just strip it from me and then go, oh, if you do eventually get it back, you have to get Meta certified and you have to pay us monthly. Another subscription service just to use these stores and to do things that were always free is now we have to pay for it. It's great.
And you've got to work harder and by producing more content than before. And you've also got to adhere to our specific guidelines and don't deviate out of what we say. So thank you very much. Yeah, the pricks. I mean, YouTube is like that to a degree, I suppose, as well. Maybe not as bad as TikTok, but plenty of people get strikes on YouTube just for silly things. And yeah.
Yeah, they got people changing the whole English language. We're over here going pew pew like little kids. We can't say the G word, or maybe we can now. I don't know. They've been loosening up rules. But again, you know how this works. It's a trap. It's just like everything that's been going on in all these shit cities in our country where everybody's robbing and stealing. And they're like, well, as long as you don't take more than like $1,000 in some places, like what? And now they're coming in with the military and stuff and picking everybody up because they allow you to do something. They get you on camera. They got all your biometrics and stuff if you're keeping up. And then they just go get you. So, yeah, I mean, first of all, don't act a fool. But also, you know, we've seen these patterns, the same patterns over and over and over now with everything. So I'm not falling for it. I'm not going to start going out of my way to, you know, cuss more, do more edgy stuff or whatever on this platform. Because first of all, there's no need. But second of all, they're going to flip it up on us, and then they'll go, oh, by the way, all them old videos you did, you got to take them all down. You know, that day's coming, too, for everybody. Yep. Ever hear of Rick Beato?
No.
Huge YouTube musician guy, studio guy, talks about, you know, pop music and just music in general, interviews, all this stuff. Huge, massive channel. And, he just did a video this week where he's like the Universal Group, the music part of MGM, or whatever company, huge friggin' brand. They just keep copyright striking him. He had to go get a lawyer. It's something like 400,000 like copyright strikes. It's a crazy amount in like the past like 8 years. And they just won't let up. They just want to keep going to get him offline because it's all fair use. And he wins every single one. But, you know, what happens to us little guys if we start to get up again? It's that glass ceiling again. Once you reach it and you come across problems like this, I'm not getting a lawyer. You know, it's fair use. I shouldn't have to pay another guy now and do all this, you know, over to keep up what? A $35 video or something? No. But they're just going to keep hammering away. He said he got like 8 more this week. So all this stuff is just a pain in the ass, the streaming, and that's why I'm fed up with WWE too. I'm not going to ESPN. I'm not buying a streaming network. I'm just not going to do it. Put my foot down with it. No Wrestlepalooza for me. You're not going to look into it, of course, right?
Oh no, they can piss off. I ain't giving them any more money. I didn't even bother with
that too. Actually, you might actually the rest of the world. This might be just an American thing, but anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Well, you can get around it with you can get around stuff with VPNs and things like that, can't you? If you really wanted to. But yeah, I don't even. If it was some other streaming service before Netflix, I might have considered it. But then when the product's so shite and I've not really watched anything since Mania, I ain't paying for something I'm not going to watch.
Yep. But they're killing it right now. And the latest promotion that they did for the announcement of this Wrestlepalooza they're having was they showed you Jelly Roll, they showed you Snoop Dogg, and people are all pissed off about this. I think The Rock was in there for a quick second. But again, this is them going, hey, you old wrestling fans, you Dr. Hughes and Danny Damages and things, we don't need you anymore. We got all these Johnny come latelys now that love Jelly Roll and Logan Paul and Snoop Dogg, and they know them. They may not know Seth Rollins or anything, which is kind of crazy, but all right. But we're going to introduce them to them And it's theirs now. Just like the Marvel Universe is theirs now. And just like comic books in general and the whole movie business and the whole music business, everything is just theirs now. Cool. Fun. Thanks, The Rock.
Yeah. Just it's cross promotion stuff, like you say. It's not just wrestling. It has to be wrestling cross music record label, or wrestling cross television network, or football teams, because everyone gets their own special belt. And yeah, we've talked about Final Fantasy doing stuff with Magic the Gathering and Tekken. It's just Marvel doing all the stuff with, like, what if Donald Duck was, which one? Can't remember. I think it was Donald Duck was Iron Man and Goofy was Spider-Man.
Yep.
DC have just done a crossover with Sonic, so it's just like Sonic the Hedgehog, that is, and not the takeaway, the food spot. But Sonic doesn't need that. Sonic's actually, I've not even seen those 3 films, but I know they've done well, and I can't find many people that have many negative things to say about it. So that's just for DC, and it's not going to save DC. The Summer of Superman's been cut short, from what I've heard. It's not done quite as well as they expected, and it's going to streaming services sooner than expected, because not as many people saw it at the cinema, at the theatre, sorry, as you call it.
Did you see John Cena as Peacemaker? Like, had sex with some dudes the other night or whatever in the show. Apparently, they're showing a lot of penis in this show.
Right.
And to me, when I first heard this, I get what it is. It's very edgy to this Peacemaker. I didn't even watch season 1. I'll catch up on all these things someday. Again, there's too much. There's too much of all this stuff. But sounds to me like the season 2 specifically, very gory, very sexual. It sounds like The Boys. But, it's very odd. Imagine having The Boys as your follow-up to Superman, which is clearly for little kids. So
it's a line blurrer. It's funny with Cena, because when he did that little stunt at whatever award show it was where he came on naked, and it's like, oh no, this is just a one-off thing. It's not. Don't look into it if you think it's some kind of humiliation ritual, or if it's some sort of like gradual moving of the goalposts, because then, like, not that long later he's just like, oh yeah, nudity, all this extra stuff. So kids that get into John Cena have now just been introduced to him naked at an award show, just in front of an audience, and they'll check out this stuff that he's in. If it's comic books plus John Cena, they'll go, oh, what's this? Even if it's rated 18 or whatever. Sorry, I can't remember which way around you do things over there, but yeah, we just have 18 plus for certification. For the highest one over here. But kids will still find it because it's John Cena plus comic books, and they've been told, comic books are cool. And so it's a bit too much of a coincidence for my liking.
Yeah, and I was listening. I mean, and then these movies are in this universe is being made by James Gunn. So they're starting off with a kids theme thing, boys theme thing. I was listening to a podcast earlier. They were talking about this stuff. Older gentlemen, though, older than us. And they're acting like, oh, well, just wait until the mother or father see Peacemaker, and then they're like, whoa, we're not going to go watch any of this DC stuff. And it's like, shit don't work like that, bro. Not anymore. They've done phoned these kids' brains to death. As I said, they hand them a phone. They say, have at it. They don't know what's going on, and they may check here and there, but the damage is already done. The kids probably already have a workaround for all of it. And shout out to the sleaze in the house. That's right. That's our Peacemaker, except without all the gay sex, I think. Hopefully.
Just a little bit.
Hopefully, right, sleaze? Not hopefully like it's a bad thing. Like, hopefully, because if you've been closeted this whole time, that's just shameful.
No, we could have had you out on the streets dancing for coins and stuff.
Exactly. Oh, let's look at this. Did you see this guy? Is this you, the sleaze? Hold on. I'm already looking at it. Don't kick me offline, everybody. Uh-oh, what happened here? Oh, no, you took the video slot. All right, this is going to take 1 second, everybody. Watch this. Watch this. If you're listening on the podcast, we're not doing anything right now. We're really fudging this up. and I have to watch this in the meantime, which you'll see. This is very disturbing. Nobody wants to see this. How do I add another page in here? Come on, guys. Come on, Restream. What is this? I had this all set up, too. Hold on 1 second, Danny. No, you're... Hold on. I said hold on, and I got rid of myself. My goodness. No, that's not it. That's not going to work. The frig, how do you work this thing?
Just hit all the buttons. Just keep hitting them.
All right, I'm just going to put it on, and if I disappear, you disappear. Just hold on a second. We'll all hold on. Wait, what is this?
I'm going to play behind us.
All right. Yep. Almost there. I think we're going to figure this out. All right. I'm going to replace you with the... No, not with that. Best show in the world, folks. Stay tuned, sleaze. You better be staying tuned. You're going to want to see this. We did it. Hold on. I can bring Danny back too, like this. There. Boom. Boom. That's how you do it. So I just need to add it again and it gets rid of somebody. This is so much fun. There we go. Okay. So, TMZ video.
Hey.
This is Lil Nas X, everybody.
Where at?
Walking
No, go ahead, babe.
in his tighty whities
Off his head.
in white boots, out of his mind on something. Yeah. Let's play a little more for the sleeves.
No. Go ahead, babe. No. Didn't I tell you to put the phone down?
Is this staged, Danny?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's just like, is this just a gimmick? It could be. Just acting like it's a stranger with the camera phone, where it's actually just one of his buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he wants attention, if he's that sort of person, then yeah, it's probably just one big sort of like phony scheme.
And this was at 4 a.m. Let's jump forward a little bit. There he goes.
Oh, yes.
He's putting cones on his head. He's acting very flamboyant. He's strutting.
Get my good side.
Yep. You should try out for the Vikings cheerleader squad there. They're getting a lot of them lately. Wow, yeah. Shave your armpits if you're going to be like this. That's what I say. Anyway, so that happened this week. Could be a work. Everything's a work to me these days.
Yeah, I think that's his natural behaviour on whatever is taken. But I think the fact that there's someone there convenient to film him whilst he's out in his pants and boots, I think that was prearranged. But just any attention, any attention's good attention to an attention seeker. So if that's what he's like, then yeah, I'm not surprised about this.
Yeah, and I mean, he had the Nike shoes or whatever that he was putting out with
blood
in it.
Right, yeah, this is who I thought it was. Yeah, then I think he's just an attention seeker.
And then he had the, he was giving a lap dance to Satan in a music video.
He was getting plowed from behind by Satan as well, I think. Something, yeah. Yeah, this isn't even the worst thing he's done then.
The Slee says that's him later tonight. It is. My goodness. You need oil. Yeah, he needs the oils and everything, Paladin. Diddy oils, cowboy boots, and tighty whities. And then, so I'm looking around and I'm like, yeah, the world is just fantastic, right? Here's another work. Here's Jake Paul, Logan Paul's brother, folks. That guy that we love to hate. I knew he's got another one. He's going to take on a guy soon that is literally 100 pounds lighter than him. I don't care if he's a good boxer. There's weight classes for a reason. And he's like a lot shorter too. So this is just crazy. Crazy to me. Yeah. Guarantees a knockout in this match. Yeah. Because you're like Francis Ngannou going up against, a lightweight. Crazy, man.
But it's you're right. No, it is daft, but it's more pro wrestling than pro wrestling at the minute, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
Because it's like, is it a work? Isn't it a work?
it's a work.
We don't know. And all right, this one I think is, but the whole question you're going to be asking is, right, so if Jake Paul has got some height and weight on this other fella, will the other fella's actual proper long-standing boxing career sort of like, will that make up for that, or will it still be detrimental to him because Jake Paul's just too big and too strong, even with a smaller skill set? So yeah, I don't mind this stuff, but it's just when they try and make out like it's real. I suppose that's what wrestling did back in the day, so I can't complain at that. But yeah, it's doing a better job than wrestling is to make me question it.
Yeah,
I'm still not going to watch it.
yeah. It's just I can't believe that everything is such a work now, and everybody knows it. Like, we know it. We know the sports and everything are pretty much rigged to a certain extent, and now you got people out here gambling on it still. It's just odd. There's too much entertainment. There's too much, hey, look here, now look over here. And most of it's garbage. And they want you to pay for it all the time, all at the same time, and give you ads on top of it. No, I'm not doing it.
Are they still taking bets for the women's basketball?
Oh, yeah, they've been doing that. Yeah.
No, but I mean for what's recently been occurring at the women's basketball, what people have been throwing on the
Angel
court.
Reese missing?
No, people have been throwing dildos.
Oh, the dildo. Oh, yeah, yeah.
You could bet, apparently, like when there was going to be a dildo thrown next, and then you could also bet on what color it was going to be.
Again, something that can be rigged, right? Mm-hmm.
But still, the most attention the women's basketball's had, by all accounts. People have never been any more interested.
Yeah, and they want like millions of dollars. They want NBA player money. They're out of their minds. What they're getting now is like too much.
It's generous.
I think they already get a huge cut of the men's league, but they're like, no, we want like all of it. And it's like, no, nobody's watching your product like that.
Yeah, the men subsidizes them for like 60 million a year, I think it is, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, if it wasn't for that, they just hemorrhage money and just
such a
stop very quickly.
Such a modern woman thing to do. You wear shirts that say, pay us what you owe us. If we paid you what you were owed, you wouldn't get a fraction of what you got now.
You'd owe us money. You'd owe the fans money for sitting and watching. Man. Have you seen the compilation videos of just like all the horrible passes and shots and that lot with the lasses? Right. Yeah. Next time you find one, put the Harlem Globetrotters music on instead, because it's comedic and it works. It works just as well as the Globetrotter stuff, but it's just also a bit sad.
Yep. Isla Dawn's coming back. I guess she's in AEW now, which she's going to be on tonight. And I think it already happened, though. They taped it. But, yep. I don't know. I'm a big Isla Dawn fan. I don't know. I think that was a mistake, WWE. One of your hottest chicks, letting them go. So, that's happening. What else? I'm just going through. Ole, look at the greatest picture there. That's Paladin's new Avi, or whatever they call it now. And yeah, those promo edits on the YouTube channel, everybody. Go over to YouTube. If you haven't been subscribing, get subscribing. Get in this chat. Stop being fucking scaredy cats around here. I see you watching. We got 80-something now on all platforms. So hit the buttons. Yep. What else do we have here? Oh, I seen this story the other day, right? And of course, you got to like go and really look up more stuff than just what you're seeing here. But yes.
Oh, so hang on. She only just started to talk about this now. She's got something coming out.
Yeah, she has this movie coming out about her career and coming up in the business and whatever. But then I read a story, because this is all about her being like sexually assaulted or something to it, where she was like, statutory grapes. And yeah. She said that, hey, this isn't really telling the whole story. It's more nuanced, blah, 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 blah. I was reading this other article. But then can we even believe that? Either way, she's got this documentary or something. Like It's just about the music business and how dirty it's always been. It's really been bad ever since its inception, like the early 19th, 20th century there.
But wouldn't she want to tell all if she wanted something to be done about it and for people to know the scale of this abuse?
That's why I kind of thought it was funny, the backlash to, like, her backlash to it, or supposed backlash, as far as like, I see that they're just trying to be salacious and going in with this angle on it, and there's more to it than that, and blah blah blah. I guess she was also upset that her all-male band were getting like pussy on the side off of her clout. And it's like, no, you got a band with you. Bands have sex with chicks. Like that's like the main reason why they're doing it. Oh, but it's just because it's off of my name. Yeah, they're touring with a huge act. Big deal, like, get over it. But so I don't know on the range of how bad, but it sounded bad, right? Like at first, where they're like, oh yeah, she's, getting raped and this and stuff at a very young age. And I don't know.
I'm not saying bad stuff never happened to her. It's just strange if this is the loudest she's been in all of her career about this particular issue. And if she does want something to be done about it, and you've just said that she's just said that it's more nuanced for a documentary, why not just do a tell-all and get everything out there and be done with it? Why dilute it just for a documentary? That's what I'm... Again, I'm not saying shit like this doesn't happen in the music industry, because I'm sure it absolutely does, and a lot of industries, but entertainment, yeah, people don't give you something for nothing, and sometimes they don't want money or hard work, they want something else. But it's just it's strange if this is the loudest she's been about it, but then she's still not being as loud as she could be if there's more to tell. Unless there's a sequel to this documentary, then it's good marketing.
And then we got Queen Aminato on the screen. I just was laughing when I seen this the other day. It says, y'all smart ass will always have something to say, knowing damn well that you ain't got your life together. Your existence sucks. You look and sound like a raggedy loser complaining about everything you don't have. And I can tell you, she meant now, that you will never have it either. Not with that stupid attitude of yours, so just shut your mouth. So I'm assuming, she's getting, people going after her online for whatever. Same thing with Tiffany Stratton lately. I guess she's getting a lot of hate, say, oh, her championship run sucks, blah, 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 blah. But yeah. Just wanted to show you that since we were scrolling on the Twitter.
Yeah, that first comment's pretty apt. It's just like, yeah, you're famous, you're on TV, you're going to get people talking shit about you on the internet and elsewhere. Either just don't look or get thicker skin. I'm not saying anybody deserves it or you should do it, but that's just what's going to happen. You're on telly, people are going to...
There we go. If you like the Japanese ladies, my buddy loves him some Kairi Sane. Uh-oh, Danny Damage is gone. Where'd you go?
No, I don't know. I thought I'd lost power. Lost power? No, I'm plugged in.
I can hear you.
I'm still going.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
All right.
I can see you and everything. It's just...
We just can't see you. It's always something around here. Every week. But, yep. Back to what we were talking about earlier with Jake Paul. Jake Paul is a fraud, Paladin. You are correct. And I heard... rumor is that he got a high-priced lawyer to go after people that say his fights aren't real. And if that's a very heelish move if you're actually doing that. Plus, it's going to Streisand affect you in a way.
Yeah.
People are now going to be saying that we know how rigged it is now. Oh, you left Vince's office.
Shouldn't have done, but
Yep. So we got everybody be on the lookout for Lil Nas X if you're driving in the middle of the night. And this story, this upsets me. I don't know why everything upsets me. Like, for months now, all this stuff sucks. I'm just starting to like really realize the future that we're going into and how bad it is. But The Rock, he wants this guy of all people. The Rock wants Danhausen in WWE.
Oh.
Why?
The same reason they had Shotzi Blackheart, I guess, so Danhausen can present like Halloween Havoc at similar events like that.
It's cringe.
That's all I could think, because, yeah.
So fucking cringe. I'm just so sick of all this. And I've always been I'm not like hating on Danhausen or anything. He's got his gimmick. It's working. But you know, I see him in comic books. I see him in this and that. I'm like, he's all over the place. And I'm just like, come on, man. You know, it's not
Blame
for
CM
me.
Punk. Blame CM Punk.
All right,
He gave him the rope. Yeah, he gave him the rub, didn't he, in AW?
It's foolishness. I get it. You know, the Otis stuff, puppets in Mexico and things. Yeah, that's cool if you want to, but don't act like this is a big deal. A Rock, we need Danhausen too. It's just like, what are they doing to my wrestling? You know, what are you guys doing? They're destroying it. Right, Cena?
Your brain is filled with feces.
Tell them. You got anything else you want to say?
You have to be authentic because they can see through phony.
That's right. Anything else?
You can't wipe my ass.
All right. You never know what he's going to say, folks. Yep. Shotzi got a new horror title belt. She does. Oh, my God. Wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't excite me much. Just like the Shania Twain song. Yeah, I'm sure that's probably her entrance, right? Entrance theme song. Yeah. There it is. See, I don't know. I'm getting everything right today.
I got my tongue up this chick says.
Oh, I thought you were Shotzi. No, he does. Yep. I guess that's the noise they make when they got the tongue up the ass. Yeah. All right. So
apologies. I don't know why I've still got the green screen. I've pressed all the buttons.
That's fine. That's fine.
You're just gonna have to have my dark green screen. Sorry.
Super professional around here. It's all right. Yep. You know what? Pretty soon I'm gonna kick you off and I'm gonna recruit Jelly Roll. You're gonna do some cross promoting over here, right, Jelly? They call him Jelly because all that snot runs out of your face. Is that it? Maybe. How about this story? Naomi is preggers. Yeah. Which is, it's a weird time for her to be pregnant, isn't it? She's the champion.
Yeah. Hasn't she wrestled recently compared to when she said how long she's been pregnant?
Yeah, there's a little meme out there with Io Sky. You know, she does the stepping on the stomach deal. But, I mean, it must be just a cluster of cells at that point. That was a while back, a couple weeks back. So, I don't know how.
You'd be very surprised at the whole... No, seriously, I used to buy into the cluster and clump of cells quite heavily when I was younger. But then when you actually have your own and start following the development, it's... yeah.
Then you can't take any punishment.
Yeah, my opinion changed on quite a lot, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I just find the timing funny in this whole story.
Yeah, well, Becky Lynch did something similar, didn't she, when she was the champion and she had to hand a belt in, from what I remember.
Mm. And she wants another kid now. I think she heard this news, and then just recently she was like, I would like to have another kid. And it's like, oh, yeah, you know what? Cool. I actually am down with that. Go have more kids. Get out of here. You know, I saw her on SmackDown. She came out the other night and just started screaming. They're in Dublin. So she's, oh my God, it wasn't the type of heel promo where you want to like hear what they're saying. It was the type of heel promo where you just turn the channel. Like, right. Shut up. She was screaming. I don't even know what she was talking about. Everybody doesn't like me. And she was, you know, it was terrible. But I think that show in general gave me a lot of ammunition for this week's new stupid promo edits that you can find on the playlist now. We got enough videos. And you know what I'm going to do with this? I already got an idea, folks. be on the lookout. Maybe a month, could take a little while. I'm going to put all the promo edits together eventually and make one big like acid trip video. There's a Star Trek acid party video online. There's many versions of this. We're going to do our own version over here, but it's going to be all wrestling stuff, and the promo stuff is going to be like the meat of the what have you. What's this? I mute it. You mute things? You better not mute any of my videos. Definitely don't do that. And like and subscribe and tell everybody that this show exists, especially on YouTube. We need subscribers over here. And we've been getting them lately, Danny. We're doing pretty good for ourselves.
Nice.
Yep. I just wish more people would play along and be like, hey, like the old days, everybody wanted to come on the show. I had wrestlers that people know about here that were asking me to come on. Now I'm asking everybody and I just get ghosted. No answer. Like I don't exist, right? Everybody's got their hands out. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm not paying hundreds of dollars to talk to somebody that throws themselves off a building for a hot dog. That's how stupid would I be to do that? For you to come on and talk and promote your shit. That's what we got to do, you know? All right. Yeah, you just keep clicking away over there, Danny. Don't worry about this. I got this under control. We just told everybody the facts with Naomi here. So, up next. What else can we complain about today? I mean, there's a lot. There's an awful lot. I think it's just people in general. Again, I've been talking about, of course, we talk mostly about wrestling, but everything stinks nowadays. People in general stink and suck these days. And I thought years ago that I was thinking, could it be the thingies that everybody got? You know, them thingies? And I've been seeing stories lately from reputable sources that are like, yeah, all this dementia, psychosis, neurological disorders and things are on the rise, and they're times like 400 times 500 of having it occur if you took these special things, right? And I've just noted, hey man, I lost half my family in the past 5 years. You know, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. You know, sure, some people were old, but you know, I'm kind of thinking it's something else, especially when I was like on the lookout, making sure like, all right, let's see how this works out. And then there are some people online that are like, you're just a fool. And you know, what do you just expect everybody to just drop dead? No, I didn't expect that. I expected a lot of people to get a lot more problems. Right. And yeah. And it's some excessive deaths as well. And it's all happened. And everybody still tells me that, I'm crazy. Okay. Cool. And is there any AEW injuries? What? Rib shot? What? Get subscribing. I'll give you some injury news on AEW next week.
Sorry. I was going to add to your statement of the social experiment of 2020 and onwards. I don't necessarily think it was just but just the attitude of people, like in the shops and in the streets, how I see people behaving. It's just,
yes.
Once the shops shut, businesses were like, oh my God, how are we going to survive? And then when the doors opened again, they were like, please use, give us some business, and you can behave however you want. You can like just come inside and start screaming. You can touch things again. You can bring your dogs inside and they can piss everywhere. And it's just the customer's always right. Just please don't let our business go under. And I understand businesses wanting that because they had 2 years of not being able to open. But people just being encouraged to be that smug entitled bastard who was just never wrong because they're a customer. It's ruined a lot of people. The was probably also not helping, but just telling people they can do what they want as long as you come and give us your business so people have just turned into proper dickheads because of it.
And did you hear the news? Jordan Grace's husband there. What's his name?
Jonathan
Gresham.
Had
2 fucking strokes. 2 strokes?
Christ.
And he's in pretty good shape. Sure, maybe he's gotten banged around and things. Maybe things have happened. But I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking? This just keeps popping up, these things. And, yeah, I'm glad he seems to be doing better, I guess. Last I heard. But, yep.
Yeah, that's mad. I didn't know. I didn't hear that. It's yeah. If people were honest, I think we'd be very surprised with people that have just like dropped dead in the last few years when they said it's something else.
The article I was reading about it, they go, it was complications from that, not the other thing he probably did to get rid of that, which doesn't do that, by the way. Yeah. So.
And then they call it long as well. Just put long at the beginning. Or chronic.
Everybody's so stupid. I told people don't do this, and they did it. And I'm like, all right. I was literally going out of my way calling people, going, you know, you heard about this thing happening, right? Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, you? Yep. No, I'm not doing it. What? Yeah, and you shouldn't do it either because of X, Y, and Z. Oh, no, I'm doing it. All right. Sayonara. You know? It's crazy. It's crazy, this world we're going. And you know what? I keep telling everybody, the next 5 years are going to be so much more insane. So much more insane. Just AI alone. The AI stuff. And now they just keep pushing this alien stuff on us. They keep doing it. And I'm not believing any of it at this point. I was starting to get into it. I'm trying to be like, have an open mind to all this stuff. And now it's to the point, I just don't believe any of it. I don't think anything's happening. How about that? Prove it, reptilians. Somebody prove it. You guys are so smart. Do something. Do something that I see that's not on a phone. You know? It's like anything. Anybody. Calling on all interdimensional and universal entities. Do something. Show yourself, you cowards. That's how I feel about this, because I've been pretty much saying this since I was a kid, and nothing happens. So, I don't know. Maybe we just can't see it or whatever. But everybody else is acting like they see it, and they got notes, and they got files and things. I think it's all works set up by the people that run this place to just totally put us in Goofville. You know what I mean? While there's other like things we can actually handle and we know is happening right now, but we're just going to ignore all that to do all interdimensional angel talk, right? Okay. Grow up. You know? And if there is a black ops, you know, all these things going on, you're not going to find out anyway. Or you'll get abducted and butt stuff will happen to you. You get men in blacked. Yep. Memory wiped. So, yep. I don't know. I just keep, again, another show, right? Another hilarious show where we hate the world. And
maybe it's just all aliens are nice, friendly aliens, like Spielberg did with E.T. And you know, nothing bad ever happened during that time. So because it was a friendly alien with a magic finger.
Oh yes, the glowing finger.
And Drew Barrymore being perfectly sane afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I mean, you can't really say a famous person's name without getting into some funny business. They're all involved in funny business, one way or the other. Except Michael Jackson. I don't believe it, Danny. I'm not believing it. I think the timing was just too perfect for the media to do. I've never seen a 180 done on a person like that. Of course, you would assume, well, it's because you know, he's diddling and things like that. But then he, again, prove it. There's no proof other than he's weird and he's got Neverland and that's weird and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, no ice cream van, no blacked out van full of puppies, but a theme park in his back garden.
But again, you got to take it all in context. This is a guy that was getting abused or kid by his father to like dance better, sing better, like all day, every day. Because that back in those days, you could actually get record deals, and that father was like so close. He had his own band and all this stuff. And then he had all the older brothers that were all having like sex around him and stuff. And then he grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, which means he couldn't even do like Christmas and stuff or do any like normal, what most normal people would do in this country. It's to the point where he's even an adult and they're having like Christmas on TV with, I remember that during the Oprah type interviews, and he was like almost having a meltdown. He's like, I'm not supposed to be doing this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so I see it more. He was had a lot of emotional issues, and I don't always, it doesn't always have to go to, well, yeah, that means he's touching kids, you know, because
not always. No, I agree.
What I've heard, he's had a lot of girlfriends, and sure, so some of these relationships seemed a little staged, like the Elvis Presley's daughter and stuff like that. But no, I've heard his own tape recorded phone calls where he's like talking about chicks and stuff. I think he was a bi guy. If I had to assume, I think he was a bisexual dude. And I don't think he was into kids. I think he wanted to be a kid. That's what I think. And I could be wrong. I'm just saying the way it went down, how his crazy sister, right, LaToya Jackson, was like, oh yeah, he does do that stuff and blah blah blah. And then she came out a couple of years after that and was like, well, my husband kind of beat me up and was like, I'll do this and that to you if you don't do this. And then you look into who that person is, and it's the same type of people that Michael Jackson is already fighting with in the music business over billions of dollars and rights to his music and all this stuff. Telling you, they can make anybody look horrendous overnight if they really want to. And should I block this person? Tired of streaming to zero. I'm not streaming to zero. Get out of here.
Yeah, I hear you, but he had a theme park in his back garden.
He wanted to be a kid.
And he shared a bed with other people's children.
Again, you know, I can talk all this stuff away. I really can. I feel like I can, because especially that, because when you were growing up in the 70s and 80s, not with me, I didn't grow up in the 70s, but I can only assume, like, that when you had like big families and a lot of kids around, everybody was sleeping with each other. And I think he got used to that, especially him with a whole bunch of brothers and sisters and all this stuff. And they kind of all like piled in on to each other because they were like not the richest people and had a ton of kids. So I think that's kind of, again, he wants to relive the childhood, but with all the good stuff instead of the abuse, and not like, oh, we gotta sleep together. I gotta sleep with kids. I don't think he was thinking about it like that. He's thinking about it like a little kid that has sleepovers. And plus, again, he's a little wacky, you know. And I think it's from the trauma and all this stuff. I mean, look at what he did to his face and everything, so he could be handsome and be presentable to people how he thought, you know.
Again, I'm not saying I'm definitely right, because I may be wrong, but people who are abused also repeat patterns of abuse and do other stuff to other people. And he had a theme park in his backyard.
I know you're just like, there's no way, bro. That's like totally trying to get kids there, right?
It's what you'd do if you were into that thing and had as much money as he would. You wouldn't get an ice cream van. You wouldn't get a blacked out van with puppies in a bag. You'd put a theme park in your back garden and have sleepovers and go, I'm just a child at heart. I'm not saying it definitely did, because I don't know, but it's not a cover that would be out of the realm of possibilities, because I've worked in care. People will say anything to get like proper mental health care, and people will say anything to get access and to hide what they've what they've done. So,
yep. And that's a good point, Fire Bars, especially the end. It's like he didn't do himself any favors. I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying that doesn't look creepy as hell and all this stuff. It's all very weird. But I grew up, right when he was at his peak, and he was very into helping kids around the world and stuff. It's these other guys that we see doing this type of thing these days. They're not so helpful with the kids. Not like Michael Jackson was. Michael Jackson was really doing things for people, like large groups of people. He was given families just to talk to him. He wanted just to have families. He would talk to the mothers of a lot of these kids that would come and go to Neverland and have relationships with them and talk about women and his relationships and things like that. And he just wanted to talk to almost like a girl for a phone type deal. And there are some of these calls that I think are still online, but you get to hear him as away from being the super mega star. I couldn't even imagine being as big as a Michael Jackson, especially in that period. Now you can't trust anybody, and that's probably, again, another reason why he only really liked kids around, because who's more honest than kids? They're not usually trying to get something out of you unless you got creepy parents in the background, right? Which there's cases of that too, of them trying to go, yeah, right. And then he did this and he did that to you, right? Because he was buying some of these families cars and houses and all kinds of shit. And then when he stopped doing things for them, again, it doesn't look good, right? But also he is damn near a billionaire or tons of money. I don't know. It's all very weird, but I think
buying people off isn't a good look now.
But was it buying him off, or was it him, again, being generous with his money, which it sounded like he was. He was a good businessman. He owned the Beatles catalog, pissed Paul McCartney off. And again, he pissed Sony off. Huge mega corporation. And as soon as he pissed them off, boom, it's like, you're the this, you're that. And then he beats all the cases. It just doesn't make any sense. If this was again, I always say, smoke where there's smoke, there's fire. Tons of smoke there. Go look into it. They looked into it twice. FBI, all that. And they're like, yeah, we can't convict them. We don't have anything. So, okay. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to defend him anymore. Man is supposedly dead. Another guy that might not even be deceased at the moment.
Oh, no. I wasn't surprised just because of how messed up he looked, and just he didn't look healthy.
And then the way he went out supposedly with the doctor, and then the doctor had a whole trial on, did you really try to get rid of this guy, which who knows? Probably not.
Yeah, trying strange health sort of shortcuts and sort of I'm not. I wasn't surprised when it was oh yeah, things happened and Michael Jackson passed away. It's he didn't seem so shy away from trying silly things, and like I say, he didn't look healthy at all. So,
and we did Fire Bars. Get subscribing if you're not, by the way. But yes, I heard the Leaving Neverland. It was like a Netflix thing, or it was supposed to come out. I remember it was a dance guy. He was a big choreographer. He had a show, I want to say, on VH1 or MTV2 back in the day. He was a big deal, and he came up, dancing with Michael Jackson as a kid again in some of his videos, and then he got into his own thing, and then he made this documentary with another guy, and they were saying how he was getting diddled and all that, and it was all debunked. So nothing lined up with that whole Leaving Neverland documentary, because it was everybody kind of caught wind that it was a work to get more money. Again, it's all when you have that much money like Michael Jackson and you're that out of it emotionally, and you're trying to have friends, and you're just talking to people's moms and shit, you're just trying to have any kind of be around people and all this stuff, and then they're all just nipping away at you. We need this, we want this. I totally see it this way. That's just how I see it. I know And again, we'll say it again. Maybe he did do some stuff, but I don't know. I think if he did, that makes the music industry a lot more complicit than anybody else, because you're just going to wait until business is bad to do something about it. You know what I mean? You're not getting something out of them, and now you're going to tell the world, right? It's just, I find that hard to believe. But anyway, enough of my.
Well, I say there'll be plenty of opportunists. So for every like one legitimate claim of something like that, even like the most horrendous, like previously like guilty people, Jimmy Savile, for example, there's thousands of claims against him. There will have been some people that made stuff up just to jump on that or to get into the newspaper or something. And that's not saying that the rest of the people weren't being legit and honest, but some people will just be opportunists and want that 5 minutes or want that however much money they can get. So with Jackson, I completely sort of like see, for every legit claim that have been people being like, I want a car and I want this, because that guy's got a theme park in his garden. So yeah, there will be, especially if people can get a documentary out of it and get a bit of fame, and if they're dancers, people are going to there are going to be some people that will lie naturally to get on board.
Yeah. So it's a crazy world. Everybody has to watch out for everybody these days, even in small timers like myself, nowhere near a Michael Jackson, but you wouldn't believe some of the stuff you have to deal with people, it's crazy. So how about this story? So did you see these Kick streamers? We're on Kick right now. There are Kick streamers out here. They're doing all kinds of stuff. I'm just learning of this. And one girl just got arrested. She was shooting random people out in public with a paintball gun. How stupid can you be? Like, first of all, in this day and age to be pulling that stunt, she must not have been from this country or something, I'm guessing.
Was it a state where you're allowed the pews?
Yeah, if you.
Oh, that's.
I don't know. That would just be stupid. I don't know the facts on that, but
I wouldn't go around like this in public, going pew pew to people, just in case someone was like, "Oh my god, that guy's got a pink skin colored gun flavored."
Exactly.
Pew pew. Sorry. That's daft.
And then an even worse story. I've seen them. I think they look French or sound French or whatever, but. These streamers over there, they were embarrassing this guy. It's almost humiliating this guy and they were giving him maybe money for it here and there. But I just seen the video where they're rubbing his face and he's got all this shit on his face and a guy's pinning his arms down in the chair. This is entertainment now, folks. These are big streamers. The chat's moving. All this stuff is going on. Do I need to abuse Danny Damage to get some more views over here? Rub his face? Pin his arms down and rub his face? Things. So they find out this guy died a day later. So I think they were putting cigarettes out on him or something. It looked like they were basically treating him like shit. And yeah, go check it out, everybody, online or whatever. That is a real story. I've been seeing it over and over. And then we got King Cobra. Never heard of him. Sounds like a lol cow. You know what a lol cow is over there? Yeah. Have you ever heard of this guy? King Cobra. No. Just sounded like he was a major boozer, and people like to watch him stream and be weird. And I think he died. And his last stream, or one of his last streams, he's all complaining, he's puking, he's feeling terrible, and all this stuff. And I think word is now that he may be R.I.P. Kick be wild. I didn't know that. Paladin. And before I will let fire bars, because I know he's a subscriber now. I know 100%. So apparently Oprah pulled strings to get Leaving Neverland released ahead of the Weinstein doc. It worked because nobody saw the Weinstein one. Makes total sense. And that was another point I was going to make just about black entertainers in general, whether they did some stuff or not. Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, they're so quick to throw these motherfuckers under the bus. Prince would have been a tough one to do all that stuff with because he kind of went at them before they could get to him. because he had a whole beef with the music industry in the early 90s when he was writing Slave on his face, and he changed his name to artist formerly known as Prince to get around the copyrights. He's like, no, I own my shit. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I would handle it, especially if I was wearing like 6-inch heels. But yeah, can't trust this entertainment business. Not back then, and 100% not now. And now we don't even have talented people involved. We got Pat McAfee's, we got iShowSpeeds, and we got all these other knucklehead like influencer types. They're the ones getting all the good positions now, Danny.
And auto-tune. They don't just go, oh, there's a little bit of reverb and a little bit of auto-tune. They just go, auto-tune, and just crank it, and just nobody cares.
Yep.
They've shown how the sausage is made. They've pulled behind the curtain, and you've seen everything just musically, like with autotune, but then just with like the reality TV show side of it, where it's like, here's how we make these bands, here's how we make these pop groups. I thought that would have done it. I thought people would have gone, we know the magic trick works now. We're not interested, but people still fucking lap it up. So there's no saving it.
How old is everybody in here, by the way, or just general age? You don't need to give your like, exact age or whatever, but I would wonder that sometimes, because I was telling people earlier, I'm in the generation now, like we both are, the Gen Xers and the elder millennials. This is it. We're the end of the old world. Everything from our time period on, or what's going on after us, is all going to be, it's all digital horse shit. And it's going to get way worse very quickly. But it kind of blows my mind when you think about it. We're in a point in time where, like, that's why I'm going back to physical media. I'm just going back. I'm going in reverse. So I don't know if you know, but I took all my stuff off of Spotify. I'm not doing streaming anything anymore. I'm going to make hard copies of albums. I'm going to make my own shirts. I'm going to make my own everything. I don't want handlers. I don't want platforms doing anything, taking cuts. I want to get all these little middlemen that are everywhere, even on your credit card, the middlemen everywhere. I would watch Shark Tank sometimes, and I'd laugh to myself. Every episode, there was a guy going, we got a new payment processor. What's wrong with the old ones? So companies are just popping up going, all right, we'll let you put money through. We got Zelle now. There's Cash App. There's Venmo. There's PayPal. Why do we need all these things? Shouldn't there just be like a bank version of all this? In whatever bank you use, it just goes through that and it works through that. But no, we got to pay them, and we got to pay the credit cards, and we got to pay these people and that people for buying a Snickers bar. Like, this is stupid, everybody. And we're walking right into it. And now we're doing it with the entertainment and the streaming, and nobody leaves their houses anymore. So you might as well just stay home and pay, $100 a month for this game and $100 a month for this TV package and for wrestling and for not doing this. I'm not doing this anymore.
No, people are getting back into physical media. In the hobby shop, we also sell manga, where I hang out and see people, friends, got a shop. Kids, like the younger kids, are really getting back into manga now, and because they want to hold the books and to smell the books and to put them on the shelves, and they go and look at all the 40k stuff, and people like to paint and spend all that time. And yeah, like I said earlier, with the whole COVID, just telling people they're awesome and they can't do any wrong, there are still some people that are just like really appreciating being able to go out to shops in person and sort of like just pick things up and see them with their own eyes and not just scrolling. I don't want that. Oh, I like that. Buy it. Scrolling. Oh, I'll buy that. They're just fed up with that. Some people still love it because they'll just scroll with that hand and just shovel fries in the face with the other hand. But there are people like younger ones that are just like really enjoying like coming and buying manga and comics and graphic novels, so they can have them on display as well, not just for the reading and touching sort of side of it, but to look at the stuff. Like you can see behind you, you've got collections of stuff. I've got fucking collections of stuff as well. I've never stopped because I was just like, I'm not paying you for something I don't get to hold in my hands. I'm sorry, I'm that thrifty, what you would call tight. I'm a skinflint, as they say.
You're just poor, right? That's
Yeah.
this is the engagement farming thing that
Yeah.
people do.
Yeah,
They just go. A guy did it to me twice. He goes, "Well, you're poor," because I was like, "I'm not paying for this," and then he wrote it again in a different way, and he's like, "Please, please respond to this." I'm like, why would I respond to any? I don't respond to like hate messages and things anymore. It's just like, why give anybody the time of day? Again, I'm way beyond this. I think the kids actually know this better than many of the adults. You know what the adults say, you wouldn't say that to my face. Blah, blah, blah. It's cringe. Don't do that. That's old style. We know. Everybody's going to say their shit. Nothing's going to come of it. It's just let them do it and don't even respond. Let them look like douchebags. Right? Because nothing is worse when you try to get at somebody online. You're like, you're this and that. Look at you. You're a stupid idiot. Why respond to it? Just let them do that. And you go, yeah, you don't exist. Fire bars touching manga is MJ behavior. Manga. MJ behavior. Maybe. Could be. Yep. We got to watch you. You go into comic book shop, son? You got comic books? Better check that PC. Yep. No, that's it. But, and I've been on high alert for damn near 20 years. Back in the olden days, again, the 80s and 90s, to me, the greatest periods of ever. Of course, there were their problems, and not everything was perfect, but nothing ever is. But compared to these days, woo, way better. But, back in those days, people weren't on high alert for weirdos. And now, ever since everybody's on high alert for weirdos, doesn't it seem like there are more weirdos? So like, how does that work? I really don't know. But you can't be cool with kids anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I can't game with kids. I've tried doing some streams, and some people that have kids that watch my streams or whatever, my old gaming streams, would have their kids come on or whatever, and they come on their accounts, and I'm like, I can't have you playing with me. One day I can't, this is weird, like people are going to think I'm weird, even though I'm already doing this and you're already doing this. It's just, and I'm streaming it, it's not like we're doing this privately. I'm like, no more gaming with kids at all. So new rules many years ago set into place because everybody's, again, they're on high alert. I don't need all that Michael Jackson stank on me. You know what I mean? I don't have it may look like a Neverland in here of some sorts, but trust me, it's for me. I'm the child. And that's why I view Michael Jackson maybe a little bit differently, because I get it in a way. There are a lot of things that needs weren't fulfilled at certain ages. And I think he was just trying to get there. I don't want to get back into it. Glitter, yeah, remember Gary Glitter? Jeez, Gary Glitter, get out of here with those weird ass boots.
Gary Glitter they weren't going to make any money off of that, so he just went straight off to jail. They were just, you aren't a multi-million-dollar fucking juggernaut like Jackson, I'm afraid. So you can just get behind them bars. You can,
but he did have proof on his PCs. Which, didn't he take him to the computer shop or whatever, and that's how they found him? So, yeah. What an idiot. Oh, my God. What a stupid idiot. And you know what? That's how most of them get caught. You stupid idiots. Oh, my goodness. I hope they all get caught, I'm just not saying like, oh, you should do better. You should hide it better, right? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, of course they're fools, You got to be a fool if you're into that type of business. My goodness. Yeah. That was a banger of a song, too. It ruined it. I love that song. Now, every time I hear that song, it's like, nah. Totally ruined it. But, yep. Anyway. No more PDF talk for now. How about some Maya Lesnar talk? Brock Lesnar's daughter. She took a bikini picture this week. She's very body positive and all this stuff. And some of the guys out here, they're loving it. I'm not one of them, Brock. Don't come after me. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I just scrolled right past it. Okay, Brock? That's all I did. But all you other guys, you better watch out. Stop saying horny things about Brock Lesnar's daughter. It's not going to work out in the end the way you think it's going to work out.
No, that's not the screaming father-in-law you'd really want.
Yeah, imagine him as your father-in-law. And also, I mean, she looks an awful lot like her father, man. Like,
yeah.
I've
not seen a picture in a few years, but the last picture I saw, it was just like, it looks like you've copied and pasted a face on top of it.
It's not like she's like, you, or whatever. The bathing suit, some guys like thick girls and things. You know, she's young, she's in shape, but I mean, but you look like your father, you know? If she looked like Sable now with a Brock Lesnar-esque body that she's got, I would be like, you know what? We could do something with this. But I mean, you know, these wrestling fans out here, no deodorant, no bitches in many, many years. So I think they're down for anything. And the whole, you know, Charlotte Flair, she's been gross for years and all this. Again, if she came around smelling good in a little dress and she comes up to you, you think you little fat stinky marks, you're going to turn that down? Sure. Okay. Don't believe you.
Yeah, I don't either. Any hole's a goal to some people.
Yeah, right. It's a nice haiku, right? Nice poem. So here's another story. Punk sounds a little unhappy with his storylines that have been going on. He loved the Drew McIntyre stuff. Everybody did. Great storyline. But he's like, he feels like he's stuck in the Seth Rollins vortex. And he kind of has been. He's been beefing with him for what now? Like 2 years almost. And nothing's really coming of it, right? There's one guy's getting beat up, another guy's getting beat up. Like, they really should wrap that thing up. But, you know, you're more of a CM Punk guy. Do you think that this Seth Rollins stuff has been bad for business? I don't think it's bad.
No, it maybe doesn't deserve like 2 years, but yeah, the Drew stuff was good. I don't know. I know you like Seth. There's only so much you can do with Seth, and they have got the other guys as part of his little faction, so they can get some attention too. But yeah, just move it on.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to see anything new out of Punk and Seth now.
Yeah. And it just brings me to, again, with this wrestling, there's so much wrestling. What you actually have to sit there and go, okay, what's important? Like, what's important right now out of all of this? Cena, his last run. Punk, Rollins is the champ now with his new group. They're trying to pitch to us that the Sami Zayn is the savior of SmackDown, one of the major players, which tells me I don't really need to watch SmackDown anymore either. WWE has been hammering me personally, like going, why are you live tweeting? Why are you doing any of this? Because I get it. A lot of people aren't watching it live anymore. Everybody's watching everything at their own leisure, especially this show. You know, 122 total shits. But we'll get up 300, 400, sometimes 500, 600 on a nice week on X alone. And it's people not able to watch live or don't want to. We've got something else going on. You know, and that's how everything you get. Again, these days suck. It was so much better back in the day. You had Raw, you had SmackDown, and you had a pay-per-view once a month. That's it. There was no AEW, there was no other shit. And maybe WCW, right? And then they would try to extend when they made Thunder and all this. And it's like that. It didn't work. Because now we're talking WWE has all these shows. Now you want all these shows too? No, it doesn't. There's too much. And it devalues everything. Everything's devalued. So now I have the mindset where I'm like, okay, what's important? And now I'm just going to be looking for highlights for what's important. Everything else, dude, I don't need to know shit about Julia. You know, great wrestler, all this stuff. What do I need to know about her and what she's up to until she's fighting for a belt, or she does have a belt, but it's a women's U.S. championship. Okay, that's like the lowest of the 50 belts that they have at WWE. It's like one step over the North American women's title and the speed title. There's so many of these. You can basically just take the 5% of what WWE is doing and discard the rest because it's childish. It's just for kids and it's for the normies that they're trying to bring in and everything else. And then even within some of that 5%, 10%, we're getting celebrities stuffed in our face. And I don't want that either. It's not entertaining to me. I don't care if Jelly Roll or anybody is involved that's not a wrestler. And then the wrestlers don't even look like wrestlers anymore.
Or act like it because they've got thin skin and they get upset because people say they're bad on the internet. When was the last time you actually sat down and watched Raw, start to finish, all in one go, without your phone so you couldn't live tweet, without a notepad to make notes, and you just sat and tried to watch it? This isn't me criticizing you, I'm just curious. When have you tried to...
2015. And that was like the very last time.
And did you enjoy it? Or did you think this is just
what it was? I just was like, well, it was wrestling, It was just nonsense.
Just try and do that now. It's impossible, and for me, it has been for a while. It's just like I say, they break it up so much. It's just like you can't enjoy it anyway. Even if you do try and give it your undivided attention, and don't touch your phone, and don't pick up a pen and write notes. Just try and enjoy what they're putting in front of you. And it's like they don't fucking want you to enjoy it like that. It's almost like they want you to enjoy the clips and go to YouTube and just do that. Or just watch the clips on Twitter whilst talking about it and retweeting it for them and promoting the show. So, and then like you say, there's so many programs. There's a program on every day. So you don't... Like when I was younger, we'd watch Raw on the Monday, and then for the rest of the week, we'd talk to our friends and like, oh, what about this happening and that happening? And you'd procrastinate and you'd fantasy book. And then by the time SmackDown came around, it's like, oh, finally, I've got another dose of what I was wanting. But you talk about that shit like all week. And it's the same with TV shows when they used to do it weekly. You'd see that one episode and you'd talk about it for the full week, and you'd maybe watch it a second time, and then the next episode would come on. Whereas now it's just like, here's your 8 episodes. You can watch it, you can spaff it all in like a night or two, rather than here's 20 to 25 episodes of something for half of the year that you will enjoy and talk about with your friends and family and everything else. And you digest it differently. Whereas now it's just, there it is, fucking just watch it really fast and then get ready for new things out soon. And then you soon forget about it.
And it just feels like for our generation, they're kind of just pushing us out. Like, you don't really need to watch this, do you? Like, no, I don't. How about that? I call you bluff. I'm not watching anymore. Not like I used to. I'm not, like I said, I'm not quitting. I'm not going to not come on here and talk about things that are happening and this and that. But it's definitely going into a different form. The time that gets invested into it is definitely going to be at minimum cut in half. And all the money, I'm going to save all that money and buy anything else with it. So, yep. And then the commercial breaks are insane. Constant commercial breaks. Yep. You can't get into any rhythm of the show because they're just selling you something every second. And I had enough. We don't need any more of this, Danny. So,
less ads, more Pat McAfee.
Yeah, and McAfee's coming back too at this Loserpalooza, whatever they have going on.
You love him.
Oh, he's just, you know why? Because he's not good. So you got Corey Graves there, who's good. Wade Barrett's good. Michael Cole's good for what he's been there forever. So now he's kind of like grandfathered in as like you expect to hear that voice. But then you add Pat McAfee into the mix, and it just ruins it for me. He's always got something to say, because he's not a professional. He's not actually doing wrestling stuff as an announcer like the other guys are. Making noises and you're talking like this. Oh, he's a dog. Okay. He's a dog. So all right.
But the way he pronounces some words is funny. So
Yeah.
he's got that going for him.
Love his wide open mouth cuck pictures that he takes. Love those. But here's a few other stories. I love the Jordan Grace. She put out a meme recently. It says, me watching all the married people at work hit on or flirt with each other. So she's throwing shade at these NXT wrestlers because you know what's going on there. That's why I want to go to NXT. Hire me, WWE, and put me in Orlando with all the fitness models. They're all banging each other. Except, you know what? Maybe in second thought, maybe don't do that because they had a little STD issue there, I guess, recently.
Really? Oh, I didn't hear that.
They're all fucking over there. You're putting all these hot people together and you're going to have them like grappling each other and stuff. And they're all in one spot and they're not on tour like the other WWE people. Even the on tour WWE people are doing crazy stuff like that. So, you know, yeah, NXT, bro, they must be wild. And Jordan Grace is like, she's telling everybody.
Watch this space. She maybe protests too much. I don't know. But it'd be funny if, you know, she said something like that and then she ends up, or a fella, you know what I mean? It's just keep your mouth shut with stuff like that because stranger things have happened.
I couldn't imagine being in a relationship in this day and age as a younger person, especially. Nobody's loyal out here. Nobody's a real person these days. Again, it's just like when I would listen to TikToks or start, going through and checking out videos or whatever when I first got on there, and it would just instantly annoy me. And what it was, I didn't realize what it was at first. It's just the voices. The voices they use are like, buy this, believe this, and buy my stuff. And hey, guys, this, guys, that. And it just sounds like you're selling stuff the whole time. And I'm like, I can't deal with it. Nobody's authentic. Nobody's genuine anymore, especially online. So if you come across this, you hit the jackpot. As I always say, you really did. People are searching for this. And again, we're being suppressed on a million platforms because they don't want this type of stuff. They want people selling and being phony, you know? And I just can't stand this world, Danny. It's getting worse and worse. Next year is going to be way worse than this year, so on and so forth after that. And again, God, you younger guys, I couldn't imagine being in my 20s and going, I'm not dealing with women. Like, I'm doing it as an older gentleman now, of course. But you're in your 20s and you're like, you don't want to deal with women? But I get it. How could you? One chick has like 500 DMs a week. And you're competing with that and all that attention. You would have to be up a chick's ass pretty much all day, every day to get attention back from her because she's busy getting attention from the world. So I don't know. It's got to be tough out here.
Yeah, the Amish life does seem appealing all of a sudden, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And you know what's funny about the Amish? They don't seem to have any autistic kids, huh? Wonder why that is. Yep.
You don't see many mobility scooters on their farms either. Everyone's in good shape. Or the vast majority of people are in good shape.
Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot of malpractice going on over there, I don't think. That's only reserved for the Hulkster, Michael Jackson, and everybody else that are out here in the world. This awesome world we got going on, just getting better every day. Don't worry. Trust the plan.
Were you going to mention Jericho? What we discussed the other day?
Before we jump off.
Sorry, that's the only topic that I had to suggest. So I was just going to say it before.
Give us your thoughts on Chris Jericho, of course. I think we all know that the word is he's coming back to WWE, possibly at some point. He liked to tweet all this stuff, and Royal Rumble was going to be upon us like that. So,
the only thing I'm surprised about is how soon it is, because I said to you the other day, thought his contract, the last contract he signed, I thought it was like 9 or 10 years. I thought it was going to see him well into like the mid 60s. So I didn't realize he'd got out of it or had changed it. But yeah, I think it was inevitable for him to come back to WWE to get into the Hall of Fame and all the legends or whatever. But he'd do AEW and just milk Tony Khan for as much as he could.
And watch this. Mark my words, folks. Here comes a hot take on what the future holds for Chris Jericho in WWE. He's going to be the cruise guy for WWE. I think when they bring him on, if they do bring him on again, which would be a good idea, of course, and they get him involved with cruises, and then he could do the Jericho cruises that will be sponsored by WWE, and then WWE will start doing their own types of cruises, or do the wrestling matches like AEW does with their talent on these cruises, and WWE will put their talent on the cruises because they got 1 million wrestlers there already. So might as well.
Then they can do crossovers with other cruise companies like Carnival or I don't know any other, like, yeah, but that's just what they'll do.
Mm-hmm. It's just this is what it's all about, folks. That's it. That's the end game. It's the game, and he's just getting all that money. And you guys can't wait to give it to him. I've given him enough. Given him enough over here. I think I've spent enough, and I'm going to watch the highlights. It's all we're doing. Get liking and retweeting and subscribing to this. If you got all this money for WWE, the least you could do for Dr. Huge over here is hit the button. We're live every single week doing these awesome podcasts. I got some guests in the work, Danny, some celebrities. One day you may have celebrities in front of your screen. So like Tony Atlas, we're really pushing for that one. I think I can get that one done. Not Terry Funk, of course, because R.I.P. Terry Funk, but I believe one of his sons that were in the business. I heard through the grapevine he wants to come on through, because I know people over here. I'm big just like this Triple H, except I don't have that wad of cash with a nice watch yet. Not yet. Yeah, WWEC. See, you get it, rib shot. Would be perfect. I'll work those. I'll be the comedy act on the ship.
Wait for WCW. There you go.
Oh, I see what you did. Mm-hmm. They own it.
Jericho and excuse. Yeah, that's what I mean. They own it, so they can do what the fuck they want.
Oh, and one last story before we go. I mean, I got some more notes and stuff, but I don't want to forget this one. This Undertaker out here, there's a story going around because he's just been signed to the WWE radio division like Logan Paul was recently. And the way his show came together is a friend of his, an actual real friend, was like, hey, we should, let's do this podcast. And, Undertaker's always like, I don't really want to do podcasts. And it must have been a bitch to get him to do this on a weekly basis or however much they did it. So they're doing their show 6 Feet Under and this and that. The Undertaker basically goes over his head and went to WWE, got a deal with WWE, didn't even let him know. And then one day was like, oh, by the way, the show's over and I'm going to do the show on WWE podcast network, whatever, with my wife. And you're done. Bye. See ya. And the guy's like, he told him at the beginning, like, he's not going to ruin a relationship with him over money or anything like that. So he kind of just went, all right, this is fine. And it was to the point where I guess Taker told him after one of their last broadcasts and then sent him a message like, are you cool? Is everything cool? Because he knows he snaked him. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. And bro, that's brutal. First of all, I know a little bit of something about this podcast game. And when you can bring a wife in, this now what the Opie and Anthony used to call holes, no disrespect to your wife specifically, but I'm just speaking on all podcast holes. And your show is not going to get any better from that. And then also to take the name now, because he's using the same name, the 6 Feet Under whatever podcast, and they're going to just use it over on WWE. The guy came up with the whole idea to do it, to try to, it's just like, come on, Undertaker. Yeah. I don't like it. The Undersnaker.
Nice.
Rest in peace. There you go, rib shot. He undersnaked them. Yep.
No, if that's how it went, that's a bit dirty.
So I had to tell everybody that story. Again, these are wrestlers, right? We can't trust any of these wrestlers. I know Karrion Kross was out here going, no, this is Kevin, and this isn't a storyline. This is really reality. Maybe it is, but I'm not believing it either way. I don't care. I'm not believing it. So he's working at House of Glory, I think. I think he posted something about that, and I went, that was the first time where I went, all right, he's actually going to a different promotion. If he's wrestling at this thing, then, you know, he's kind of not with WWE, right? But then again, Shotzi Blackheart is over there, right? Shotzi, where are you, Shotzi? Yep. Yeah. That's how she says yes most of the time, right? Yeah. All right. Well, Philly Sports Pride says TN and A works. TN and A? Maybe. Could work. Stop laughing. What's got you laughing out here? What's so funny? My face, Danny's sunglasses and hat duo. Oh, I'm telling you, everybody's stealing you and the Sleaze's style out here. I'm watching these podcasts on the YouTubes. All these guys, they look like the Unabomber. Hat, sunglasses. They're like, I don't want anybody to know I talk about wrestling. I don't talk about this and that. I get it. You know, it's fun. It's fun to look at. This is one guy. It's always like super short guys too. It's like 5 foot guy that, you know, talks mad shit. And I get it. If you're talking mad shit, especially, you know, you don't want people seeing what you look like. But this guy, he's got the hat so low, and then he's got the huge glasses, and then he has in front of the mic like this, and he just talks shit, and it's like, oh man. I don't know. All right. I think that does it. I do have more notes. I'll save them for later. I may come back tomorrow. The Sleaze said he's available, so you may expect another show. If you're available, Danny, of course, anytime you can come on. And thank you for coming on again. Have any more points you would like to make to the crowd or let anybody know where to find you?
DannyDamage.co.uk, on Twitter @BluntDamage. That's it. Come and whinge at me about my takes on wrestling and anime and all of the things that I would probably just say as shit nowadays.
Yeah, everything stinks now. And and it's tough. It must be tough to make stuff that's good because there's so much shit around diamonds, you know? You gotta find the diamonds. But yep, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Of course, again, we are on YouTube. If you're watching on X or on Kick, that's cool. But come over to YouTube because I'm trying to get it monetized. I need watch hours. I got all these silly promo videos. I got clips. I got shorts. Got the lives. Got the podcasts even. I put these shows in the podcast form. You got playlists. All that stuff. So hopefully that keeps you busy. And again, thanks for tuning in. Hit the link tree. QR code right there. YouTube, podcast. I can't even say store or TikTok anymore. 3 IG accounts. We got Dr. Huge Does Comics. We have the Dr. Hugenstein, Dr._Hugenstein, and Dr. Huge Music. So much going on. New tune. Did you hear the new tune, Danny?
Oh, no, I didn't.
The music video on another YouTube page, Dr. Hugenstein. Just type that name in or whatever. Over 50 music videos. You know, I'm trying to compete with this AI and stuff, folks. So help a brother out. Thanks for everybody.
So many bangers. Check it out. Check them all out.
And that does it for us. Again, have a nice day, everybody. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.